Welcome back, and today we are here with Broadway grosses. So, as I like to say, let's get into it. Starting off, we have & Juliet, which went from 98.15% capacity last week to 98.76% capacity this week. And it didn't make $1 million on the dot. But those are the numbers. It's just a lot. It's a lot of words, so you can see that. But & Juliet, again, super well in January, in February. Was not expecting it to do this well, and it is very safe. A Beautiful Noise also did really awesome, going from 88% to 89% capacity, and dropping slightly, but again, it still was in the $1 million club, and that's what matters with these brand new musicals, is that they bring in $1 million, and that they do this kind of business, especially in January and February, where shows can lose momentum. It's very heartening to see new musicals doing well, even though they're jukebox musicals. Funny Girl continues to dominate, going from 90% to 96%. Last week it made $1,801,000, and this week it made $1,800,000, so not a huge drop at all, really. And it's still dominating, with an average ticket of $191 and a top ticket of $549. Hadestown went from 695,180 last week to 745,689 this week, going from 95% to 99% capacity. And again, I think Hadestown will still close. Again, it's a step in the right direction, but I think it's gonna close this year. And I think it's slowly declining. It's not in like the deep bad waters, but like this show should realistically be doing 800,000 plus, not under 800K. 700K is, being light on it, so I just don't think it's gonna survive this next year. Hamilton went from 1,695,000 last week to 1,722,790 this week, going from 99.5% last week to 99.68% capacity this week. Kimberly, Akimbo went from 94% last week to 96% this week, going from 526,576 last week to 523,608 this week. And again, Kimberly Akimbo, as long as it doesn't go past 500K, it's fine. It's definitely not doing gangbuster numbers, but the album just came out. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a bit generic, but there was some gems in there, and I might see it. Let me know in the comments down below if I should see Kimberly Akimbo, because I might see it, because I think it's going to win Best Musical. Pretty confident, unless New York steals the thunder. I don't think it will, though. But let me know if it's worth it, because I definitely do think this isn't a score that's something that you put on the radio, because it's very book-oriented and character-oriented, so let me know, because I might see it. Moulin Rouge went from 96.19 to 98.95, going from 1,296,706 to 1,352,806. And the average ticket and the top ticket both went up, and I'm glad that Moulin Rouge is doing a little bit better than it was in the fall. Six, for the first time in a long time, went from $1 million to 993,937, going from 98.68% last week to 98.31% this week. It's a very inexpensive show to run, so there's nothing to be concerned about, but it is very interesting that Six had its lowest performing week since really it opened. Some Like It Hot is continuing to disprove me, going from 72% to 80%, going from 741,939 last week to 828,380 this week. I'm gonna be honest, I was wrong, so sue me. But here's the thing. These numbers still aren't great, and I still think it won't make it till 2024. However, I'm obviously glad that it's picking up the momentum and the word of mouth is spreading on this show. But again, compared to the other new musicals, excluding Kimberly, such as Some Like It Hot, & Juliet, Funny Girl, I guess that was last season, it is the lowest performing new musical of the season so far, and with how much it costs to run, these numbers aren't great. It's doing pretty mediocre numbers, but like compared to like what it could be doing, it's chilling. It could have really gotten slaughtered in these past 2 months, and it's maintained its steady position. It's holding on by a thread. The Book of Mormon went from 904,339 last week to 966,954 this week, going from 95% last week to 97% this week. The Phantom went from 2,616,850 to 2,425,000, going from 99.63 last week to 99.85 this week. So overall, the grosses for the past 2 months have been so strong. Super happy about that. And it's so rare that musicals in the winter do this well, so I don't know if it's because there are discounts going on, or I don't know what's going on. I know that it's historically very warm these past 2 months, especially now, like it's very beautiful outside. But either way, I think Broadway's it's coming back. As I said, as we get less and less away from the pandemic, Broadway's coming back, and I'm very excited about that. I'd also like to mention that I saw Moulin Rouge like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and I'm going to do a mini review right now. So here is my video of where I sat, super close. I would not sit as close as I was because my neck was hurting. I thought the show was good at the lighting, the music, the costumes, the set. It was visionary brilliance and had some moments that inspired me. You know, Chandelier, Shut Up and Dance With Me, so many great numbers. But overall, I thought the show was a 7 out of 10. And a 6 out of 10 if you don't include the musical numbers. It felt like a superhero movie. You loved it when the action sequences were going on, aka the dance numbers, and when that wasn't happening, you were bored. And I felt like the book was very weak. There was some very cringy moments, especially before Shut Up and Dance With Me, where he turns to the audience and like smiles at them, and it was just really cringe. I also think that Christian as a character is very like stiff, like, and I don't know what I don't know, like they're definitely going for like a very straight male stiff kind of characterization, but there's no chemistry, there's no excitement, you know, like there was so many moments when it just felt like he was going, Aaron Tveit, who was great in the show, felt like he was really just going by a formula rather than an authentic performance. And I don't know if other people feel that, but I just feel like certain book scenes were very weak and kind of boring, and they were very interesting. I do admit I fell asleep during 2 of the numbers, but I was very tired, but also they weren't that interesting. Also, the sound design was once again very weird. The numbers, the musical numbers were super loud, and then the book scenes, you could kind of almost barely hear them, so that was kind of weird. Still very immersive, and still a great show to see for the spectacle of it, but it's definitely style over substance, and I personally just felt like I was disconnected from it emotionally, and I couldn't connect with the characters. Even though I was blown away by the spectacle of it, you need substance. And it's definitely the definition of a tourist show. The audience loved it, though, and I loved it, too. But, again, it just was not... I didn't connect with it emotionally, and I intellectually stimulated by it. And so because of that, I was not interested as much when the musical numbers were not happening. And that's kind of the point of jukebox musicals, is you're there to listen to songs you know. But I personally don't know if I'm a huge fan of jukebox musicals. I haven't seen that many, but I know Jagged Little Pill and Moulin Rouge were in contention for Best Musical, and Moulin Rouge won. I would have given it to Jagged Little Pill, because for all its flaws and cringy moments in that it just has so much more substance and so much more, like, I don't know, worthiness of a Best Musical win than Moulin Rouge was. And I know people were praising and everything, and it is very, for the audience that Broadway attracts and for the critics, this show definitely appeals to their senses, and I get those senses, and I am a part of those senses, but at the same time, I like more bold, daring work, like A Strange Loop, or stuff that's going to challenge me more, that's going to have spectacle, but that's also going to have a lot of substance to it, and I just didn't feel that with Moulin Rouge, but I definitely recommend you going to see it. But yeah, that's my review. So anyways, that is the video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next week for another round of B-Way Grosses. Peace.